Hello, everybody. Welcome to the lecture series on production and cost in managerial economics. I'm Shrutika, assistant professor at SNSB Spine. This particular video is an attempt to understand cost as a contributor to pricing. So, we will discuss on how cost has a significant impact to play in the overall pricing process. We'll take airlines industry as an example to understand this relationship. So, when it comes to airline industry, the pricing strategy in airline industry follows a lot of parameters. So we'll make an attempt to explore cost structure and pricing dynamics in the airline industry. So firstly, for pricing, cost is important, but not just cost. Pricing is about cost, it's about consumer behavior, it's about competition, it's about revenue. So pricing is a combination of all these, but the factor that is of foremost importance is cost. Before discussing about cost, we need to understand, when you book an airline ticket, at certain point of time, the ticket prices would be very high. While for the same aircraft, the ticket prices would be much lesser at a different point of time. In one route, despite the distance being higher, the ticket charges would be lesser. While for the other route, despite it being a very short distance, the ticket charges must be much higher. So all these differential patterns happen due to a combination of all the aforesaid factors. So it's not just one parameter that decides the cost. Firstly, we will discuss about consumer behavior. Consumer demand patterns delineate pricing elasticity and they act as foundation in setting competitive pricing and strategies. So as far as price elasticity is concerned, consumer behavior is one factor that is of utmost importance, especially consumer demand patterns. How much demand is imposed from the consumers? What is the demand for this particular product will definitely have a significant impact on how much price we fix. So say in a particular route, if the demand for tickets is very high, obviously the ticket prices will be higher. On the other hand, if demand falls below normal, the ticket prices would also fall below normal, only then the aircraft would be able to sell its tickets. So consumer demand patterns significantly delineate the overall price elasticity and act as foundation, especially for setting competitive pricing. Also, there's a significant price discrimination when it comes to airline industry. So the same service comes for different prices, uh, might be due to factors like purchase time, user demographics, route elasticity, etc. When the purchase time is much lesser, when the person purchases as a ticket at a very close rate, then the ticket charges might be much higher. On the other hand, if the ticket has been booked well in advance, there would be a significant drop in price. Similarly, if it's a route which is very dense, if it's a route which is very populous, the ticket charges would definitely be higher. On the other hand, if it's a very sparse route, the ticket charges would be below normal. The same goes with route elasticity. If there's a lot of flights that are operating over that route, if there's a lot of option available to the consumers, then the ticket charges must be lower. On the other hand, if there are very few flights that operate in that route, then the ticket charges would be higher. So these are several factors that cause a discrimination in price. Adding to these are the fixed and variable costs. Fixed cost includes expenses like aircraft acquisition charges, salaries, hangar fees, etc. So aircraft acquisition charges refers to the price you pay for purchasing that aircraft. How much you paid to purchase the aircraft is what aircraft acquisition charge is all about. Salary is what you give to your employees, be it to your crew, be it to your operators, be it to your floor workers. What is that? You pay them. So that remains a constant irrespective of whether your flight operates or not. The same goes with hangar fees. The fee that you pay to park your aircraft when it's not in use. So these charges remain fixed. On the other hand, there are several variable costs like operation costs, including fuel, maintenance, crew supplies, which again affect the overall pricing strategy. Uh, the crew supplies would increase when there are more passengers. The crew supplies would decrease when there are less passengers. So again, here cost becomes variable. So the overall pricing will take into consideration consumer behavior, the discrimination factors that we discussed before, the fixed cost, the variable cost, plus revenue management and competition. So what is revenue management? Revenue management refers to utilizing pricing strategies to maximize available revenue. So in addition to fixing cost, we'll also ensure that the available revenue is maximized. We need to forecast demand and have dynamic pricing tactics in a way that even if our aircraft goes non-operational for a particular period of time, we will still have liquid cash in hand. We'll still have cash with which we can manage our fixed costs. So we shouldn't essentially price at a point where we do not have liquid cash. So revenue management also has a significant role to play. And the last is the impact of competition, how much the market competition is. What is the price that your competitors have fixed? What is the price at which they operate? What's the profit margin? What is the level of fare of competitors also has a significant impact. So when we make an attempt to explore cost structure and pricing dynamics in airline industry, we need to take into consideration the following factors: consumer behavior, price discrimination, variable cost, fixed cost, revenue management, competition impact, etc. Of all these factors, the predominant determinants being costs. So as we discussed in the previous videos in this lecture series, cost essentially acts as the cornerstone to any economic operations. So cost essentially determines how the entire economy functions. So I think this reference of airline industry would be of help to you in understanding the overall cost and price functioning of an economy. We'll definitely catch up soon with another scenario and another cost price analysis. Thanks for watching the video. See you soon with another interesting content.